long pull round. There it is. Happy days. We're just getting straight on with it. Right then guys, welcome to another episode of Hooked. My name's John Murray and I'm an angling addict, and today I'm on the banks of the River Don and we're down at the Earth Centre in Dennerby. Now then, I've drawn peg 29 today, so this is what is predominantly a small fish zone, but I've got it on good authority that there's plenty of fish to be had. The pegs are very, very tight, and if you could fish a pole in here it'd be ideal, but that's not going to happen because that's the bank that I'm faced with up there. And that just makes it a nightmare basically. Right, so what have I got set up? Well, I've set up the 10 metre whip. I've got a 2 gram pencil float on that. I can't show you the rig. Basically all the gear is laid across my side tray and just down the edge of the bushes there. I just can't find anywhere to actually stack it. I've got trees above me. The 10 metre whip, it just won't go up behind me. There's literally nowhere I can put this thing. So that's the best I can do. I just hope the line don't get snagged up throughout the course of the day. The other rod I've got set up is the 17-foot Drennan Acolyte, and I'm on the limit of that. I wish I'd brought the 7 metre bolo because I've got 16.5 foot of depth basically out on the whip stroke bolo line. Lastly, I've set up an 11-foot feeder rod. I'm going to fish that about 2/3 of the way across. Bait wise, we've got all the usual stuff. We've got some dead pinkies. Well, they were actually alive this morning, but I've stuck them in water and I'm trying to keep deading them down so that I can put some in the ground bait. We've got a few casters, dead reds, live reds, ground bait for the feeder line, which is Thatcher's G5 and Sweet F1 Dark in equal portions. Lovely stuff. Then we're going to be balling this in on the whipstroke bolo line. This is Bowland Black. I've got some hemp oil in there, lots of hemp, and I'm going to pretty much load it up with dead reds, dead pinkies, a few casters, and get a little bit of chopworm in that as well. It sticks like to a blanket, so it's going to get that bait straight down. I'm absolutely going to give this rock all today. Probably going to put 6 or 7 balls straight on that line, get out on the feeder, and then we'll see how we go from there. 2 lines of attack, just going to focus on them, swap between possibly whip and bolo depending on the flow and how far down the swim that these fish might actually drift. But all being well, we can do it on the whip today. And that's the initial feed that's going to go in on the whip line. Right guys, if you enjoyed the videos, don't forget to give them a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode every time I upload one. I'm going to get myself sorted out, sat on the box, and we'll wait for the all-in. Right, so we're 2 minutes to the all-in. Got the Acolyte Pro 10 metre whips at hand, and basically we're just waiting to throw these 9 balls of ground bait onto this line. Say the bolo, predominantly I'm going to fish that over the same line. I'll spread them out a little bit downstream of me, make sure that we can run onto them. All being well, we'll pick plenty of fish up on the float today, be that on the whip or the bolo rod. I'm just going to start on dead reds. See if we can find some skimmers out there. That's a bite. Quick bite there. Had to switch to live maggot. That's a roach. Nice fish. Another little bite there. Just a quick dab. And another one. So possibly roach in the swim at the moment. Well, it seems really slow on the tip at the moment. I'm going to try a little bit of worm. Don't get anything, I'm going to get straight onto the whip. Now that's a bite. A little piece of worm. Very positive bites these though. With a little nudge. I don't know if you can hear this music, but somebody's rocking out up the bank somewhere. That was a little bit more positive. Come on, let's have this properly go. Maybe try a bigger piece of worm. Something down there, but definitely messing around with it a bit. I'll bring this back, it's taking too long. Try a little bit more positive piece of worm. Tiny movement. Another flick of the tip. Just doesn't seem to be anything. Is that on? Yeah, we missed that. So, very cagey bites on the tip. I'm going to get straight on the whip now. I could try a pinky on this in a little while. There we go. First fish on the whip. Small perch. Another bloody roach. It is.
Getting a few of them, John.
I know. Too many. I might have a clear peg soon. There we go. Nice fish on the whip. I'm going to drop a section off so I can land these. See how it goes. I just lost a bit of line off the rig because so many snags on the bottom. So I've ended up shallowing up 6 inches or so. And this is another perch. It's not a bad old unit, if I can get him towards me. Lovely. Very awkward in here. With bushes and brambles and God knows what. It's hard to get the net back. And he was just in the lip. But nice little chunky perch. Ooh. Well, the wind's getting up wild, and that is not ideal. Just trying to lay this rig in where I need it. That wind was definitely making life awkward a bit there. I'm getting roughly just above where the ground bait went in and run onto it. That would be perfect. And there we go. Had to run down a bit for that one.
Many bites on that?
It's difficult to get through clear. Do you know what I mean? Like, seems to be that much on bottom. And I'm trying to, I'm at 6s and 7s with it where I'm at in peg here, because I just feel hemmed in. Yeah. There's so many snags on the deck. It's a bit of a nightmare. Just bits of branches and even shallowing up and getting caught up at times. Total pot luck whether you get through them. Do with a few more instantaneous bites like that. It was a quick bite, but this fish don't seem confident right now. We're getting bites, but they're just sort of like pulling down and then letting go. Well, I just can't get a run through on this without getting snagged, it would seem. Absolute snag pit. What is going on? Properly doing my head in. Right, the snags are bad. I am literally, no matter where I put this, I seem to be coming back with a twig or a branch on it every run out. So I'm just going to start shallowing up 6 inches at a time until I stop snagging. Switched onto the bolo because the whip just feels too slow trying to cast it, getting stuck, trying to get the rig back. As long as the wind stays down, the bolo will be alright. That's a fish. Only a small one. And that's maybe why we're missing a lot of bites as well. Tiny, tiny roach. Another small perch. The bolo's 4 gram. It's twice as heavy as the pencil float. That's another fish on the bolo. So the bolo is actually working better than... Oh, that one's come off. The bolo is actually working better than the whip. Nice, fairly instant bite there. What's this? Another perch. So I don't know where all the skimmers are right now. Right, I'm going back on the tip. So snaggy down the inside, driving me mad. And that was a pull as soon as that went in. Oh, we've got another tiny skimmer on single maggot there. Well, that was a fairly instant bite there, just settled in. Again, these fish just seem to be mouthing the bait and then disappearing. There's something still there. So I feel like there's a few coming in on the feeder line. It's just very, very slow. Well, these are the tiniest of taps. Absolutely destroyed that maggot again. So are they roach? Are they tiny skimmers? I don't know. I'm just going to move the stop up a bit, give them a little bit more room to hang themselves. Oh, you lost your gear? That's a fairly quick bite. So I feel like there are a few fish willing to have a go down there now. Whether we just need to build this swim a bit more, I don't know. Could just end up wasting too much time on it. Just pathetic bites. Just another little nudge there. Just feels like the tea's all over again, this. Oh, go on. Did we get that? No. Ridiculous. Smashed up to bits again. Don't know whether these are chublets, little skimmers. Well, try as I might, I can't get this tip rod to go around. There's fish all over the river. There's fish certainly showing out on that line. But Just can't get one right now. That's on. Delicate little bite. It's a chub. So that must have been what's been smashing all them maggots up. Chublets. So I think we'll have a look on the bolo again now. See if we can get a clear run. Well, my float line's more or less unfishable. It's just so snaggy. If I come off bottom, I can't get a bite. If I stay on bottom, I just get snagged up. It's a shame because I think there's plenty of fish on it. So I'm going back on the tip. That's a bite. How do you miss them? Chublet. Right, it's just not happening across, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten my line up, come down the middle. I can always go back across if needs be, but nobody's really catching, so I'm just going to reclip. See what happens. That is a pull down the middle. Just need to try and keep this fish on. Took some time to develop that bite. What is it? And that is a skimmer. So maybe we've been throwing in the wrong place all day, but everybody seems to be fishing across. That's another bite, fairly quickly there. Gotta wait for them to go properly though. Go on, go around. Pulling away at this worm. That's got to be on, and it is. It's another little skimmer. Well, what a difference the change of line's made. 2 and 2 throws. See if we can make it the hat-trick. And really build this line up towards the end. And that is a proper pull round. They're the kind of bites I've been waiting for. It's a roach. The fat one. So all I'm running through the feeder is a little bit of chop worm. Just trying to switch these fish on. Another bite developing here. Just gotta wait. 1 or 2 big skimmers. I think he's been with a shout. Unless he's done anything on end peg, but looks really slow. Nobody's really bagging up. Another nudge. And half messing about with it today. Even though the fishing's hard, I'm going to increase the hook size here. Just get the feeling. A couple of big fish and we're through. Last thing I want to do is lose them due to a size 16. I'm going all out. Half a worm. Looking for a couple of big fish. And that's a pull. Oh, how we missed that. Definitely feel we're there now. Just chewed that up. Properly chewed that worm. Could have been a perch. That's a bite again. This time I'm going to leave it a bit longer. See if it really goes. It just might not be that big fish. There's something on this again. bumping around with the tip. Maybe too big a piece of worm this. Well, I'm going to have to bring this back. So it's chewed up a little bit, but I don't know. There's another bite. They are ridiculously shy, these baits. Sit it. It's on. Little roach. No, Glenn. It's been it's been dire, mate. Do you know what? Yeah.
I mean, these legs down here, honestly.
They were.
You'd run to these.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
I mean, Gary on the leg, you look at your bloody wages on Gary today, but he hasn't got too far.
Well, Jug has been down, and the report is that nobody on this section's really catching much at all. Probably £2 best. So it's anybody's match at the minute. The section above us, apparently there's a couple of £10 weights, and that's the best we've heard of. Oh, and that is a pull. Another little skimmer. Lovely. A few more skimmers now, and you never know. So these fish still aren't biting right, they're just chewing bits of worm. I've just got to try and tempt the odd skimmer or two. And that's a pull. Just when I thought I wasn't going to get one, chopping the last bit of worm up there. Not big fish though, these. Another roach. Roachio. So I don't know where the bream are. Well, this feeder line seems to have died a death as well now. I think the lad, a couple above us, has probably got 5 or 6 pound on the pole. It'd have been nice if I'd have been able to fish me float lines today. I'll have one last look on it, but it's just been so snaggy. Well, I can't buy a bite on the bolo now either, so I think we're done with that. It pretty much looks like we'll be trying again on the air. Just can't even get a bite now, can't buy a bite. They won't look at maggot, they won't look at worm. Unless by some miracle a 5 pound slab swims along in the next 5 minutes. Well, last cast I reckon. It's been absolutely dead for the last 45-50 minutes or so. And that's time. Right guys, we'll get wrapped up. I'll weigh these fish in, but once again I don't think we've come anywhere, so I think we'll be seeing you on the air. It's been a tough day.
I swear too much when I film with me. All you hear is bleeps.
That was Dave Pilgrim. Just blame him. Come on in there, John. I know they won't come out. We'll have to, won't we? Trouble is it's a 4 metre net. He'll go in eventually.
That's it, isn't it?
That's it, I think. Not that I think it'll make much difference.
Yeah. 314.
314. Oh well. A little bit better than I thought. Well, another miserable day's catch. £3.14 of fish off the Don. Very, very disappointing. So a quick summary then. I think £9 has won the zone from peg 31, I do believe. But anyway, I'll get all the results up for you now. So the lad who's had that weight, he's fished pole all day and he had a peg that allowed him to do that. There was no doing that in my peg or a number of the other pegs, to be honest. The wind has been downstream all day, so that's made presentation on the whip or the bolo quite difficult, to be fair. But that was the least of my problems. Just the amount of snags, the pure amount of branches that I was bringing back. I must have brought back 15 to 20 branches on the bolo line, stroke whip line, and it was just an absolute nightmare. I shallowed up. I must have been fishing 2 foot off bottom, and at that point I couldn't get a bite. So as soon as I went back down, you know, to try and get a bite, basically I was getting snagged again. So I just abandoned it in the end. Last 2 hours you've seen me. I've fished the feeder. I've come in a little bit shorter, found a few skimmers, and thought, well, this is it, you know, we found a few fish now, they're going to have it. And I was just fishing pure worm through the feeder. But, you know, 45 minutes from the end, something like that, it is just completely switched off, and I've just not been able to get another fish basically. So I've weighed in £3.12 there. Most people have had somewhere between £2 and £5, or just didn't bother weighing because they just hadn't had enough fish. Very, very disappointing day. So it looks like we'll have to go for it again on the air. Right guys, if you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Give it a thumbs up, share it with your mates, leave me a comment. I'm off to go and get some beers. Thanks for watching guys, and until the next one, tight lines.